Hello my friends, Asoka the Geek here, and for this review, we're going to take a look at the new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse McFarlane Collector Edition, The Grim Knight versus Killer Croc 2-pack. So very excited about this 2-pack. We finally have a re-release of the Grim Knight with a new paint scheme. Been waiting for this one for years. I have the original, but I always wanted to see more versions of this figure because it's such a beautiful sculpt and one of my favorite figures from McFarlane. Also for the fans who weren't able to get the Grim Knight back in the day, I mean, that was like 4 years ago now. Glad that folks have the opportunity now to get a version of the Grim Knight, and it's a really nice one. And then we have Killer Croc. So there is I believe this is a reuse of the Arkham Killer Croc figure. I don't have that one, but I just did a quick Google search before I started this video, and yeah, it looks similar to that one except the head sculpt, so correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it looks like it's just a new head sculpt, maybe new paint scheme as well. So this is a new figure for me because I never got the other Killer Croc. But yeah, here is the 2-pack. Nice packaging on it with a nice swamp motif. There's some nice artwork on the back. It does say Dark Multiverse, so I'm not sure if this is like comic book accurate, honestly. I'm not familiar if this version of Batman and Killer Croc were in a comic together, but maybe. So I'll have to see if that's true or not. But either way, it's a cool 2-pack. I picked mine up from GameStop. I thought it was a GameStop exclusive. That's the only place I've found it so far, but it doesn't say Gold Label on the packaging. D Hunter on my Instagram said it's not a GameStop exclusive, so I trust his opinion. So not sure where else you can get it, or if it's going to be available, more readily available later on, or what the situation is. But I picked mine up from GameStop. I ordered it when I went for pre-order, and it just arrived today. So there you go. Anyways, without further ado, let me open up the figures and let's take a closer look. Alright, so here are the figures outside of the packaging. So it does come with this diorama piece in the back here. A little swamp-like diorama, so you can use it for your Swamp Thing diorama that you're creating if you wanted to as well. Nice touch. I probably won't, I'm going to chuck this actually, so I don't really care about it. But it's cool that they did that. It's always nice. I remember before they used to attach the cards to the diorama piece and it would ruin the diorama, so really nice and thoughtful to now make it an intact diorama piece if you want it. There's the trading cards, same artwork as the back of the box, and then there are the figures themselves. So let's talk about Killer Croc first. Again, I don't have the original version of this, so you know, I'm just judging on what I see here. He's definitely top heavy. He's a hefty guy, and definitely more of the weight on the top there. But man, I really like this Killer Croc. The paint is fantastic. The jeans, the rope around for his belt, you know, the scales, the detail there. Just really nice looking figure. The joints are really tight as well, so it's not loose, but it definitely a little effort to move them around a little bit. But great range of motion there. And then that head sculpt. The only thing that would have made this head sculpt better is if it was a movable mouthpiece. That would have been awesome. But all things considered, I think that's a really cool looking Killer Croc. I like how it's got like one eye bigger than the other. So that is really nicely done. There's the scales on the back there. There's the foot. Yeah, really nice looking Killer Croc. So yeah, I'm glad I never picked up the other one because I really dig this one, and I have a Killer Croc to add to the collection there. So there is Killer Croc. But yeah, definitely top heavy. He, you know, oh, let me show you the ab area here. So there you go. You can kind of see how he bends all the way back there. He can also bend forward a little bit there. Then the head, a lot of range of motion there with the head. So there you go. There is Killer Croc. And then on to the star for me of this set. The new Grim Knight, or the repainted Grim Knight. So this is a new head sculpt, actually. I'll do a comparison with the original here in a minute. But it's a new head sculpt, and it looks fantastic. It's a lighter gray suit. The weapons are all the same from the original release. This is one piece you can just detach very easily if you don't want that on. And then, man, I love this figure. I love the brown that they've added to the belts across his chest. And I like the grays that they've used, the silver on the arm things there. And yeah, it's a great looking figure. Still holds up. I mean, this is early McFarlane. Man, everything was a new sculpt back then, so gotta love that era. I know it didn't make sense to keep doing that, but man, I love this sculpt so much. But man, I gotta say, I think McFarlane has done the best Batman figures out of, you know, DC Direct, Mattel, whatnot. I love all of their Batman figures. Not all of them. There's some that aren't that great, but for the most part, man, just another home run here with this Grim Knight. Look at all the ammo clips there. See the kind of the range of motion here. The head, the arms. There we go. So yeah, really dig this repaint. I'm so glad we see it. And there's another one too from Big Bad Toy Store. I think it's exclusive to them. And it's like a white suit. I might have to get that as well because, man, it's just an awesome looking figure. So there you go. All right, let's see how he compares to the original Grim Knight. All right, so there you have it. The one on the left is the original. The one on the right is the new version. Clearly see all the similarities between the suits. You can see the differences there, but the most, you know, noticeable thing is obviously the head sculpt. And I kind of like the head sculpt on the new one even more than the original, honestly. I really like the expression he's making, very fierce looking expression, whereas the original has a more neutral expression, but still both fantastic figures. But I gotta say, I think I like the head sculpt on the new one. I like the darker colors of this one. If this one had the same color scheme but with the brown in there, I think that would be like my perfect version. But still, this is fantastic. I love this version, and I love this version as well. Do you need to double dip like I did if you have the original? You know, that's something you have to decide for yourself, but I'm glad I did because, again, I love the new head sculpt of the brown and the differences here. Oops, Jones is gone. Let's see how Killer Croc and Batman look with a few other McFarlane figures. All right, there you go. There is Hush Batman next to the Grim Knight and the Joker next to Killer Croc there. So there you go, just to give you a sense of how these scale with other figures. Killer Croc, I wish he was smaller. You know, he's never been portrayed that big in the comics, or I guess my favorite version of Killer Croc is from the animated series where he was sort of like a bigger guy. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, it's still a beautiful figure, but I think I would have liked him to be smaller, but that's, again, a nitpick. But overall, I love this set. They're both fantastic figures. I think the more I look at Killer Croc, what I really love about the head sculpt is a kind of a goofy head sculpt, right? It's a little bit like, you know, Killer Croc is in the animated series, just sort of that dopey kind of way about him. So I think that's why I really like this head sculpt quite a bit. So I think they did a great job with Killer Croc, and again, the paint, the detailing, just a beautiful looking figure here. So there you go. There's Killer Croc, and of course the Grim Knight. Love this guy, fantastic figure. Definitely pick this up if you don't have the original, had any interest in getting this. Highly recommend it. The first version I think is pretty pricey on eBay and whatnot, so don't miss out on this one. I don't know if they're going to be doing any more releases, if we're going to get a single release. You know, usually now with any figure that has a weapon like this guy does, they have to do a collector edition or Go Label edition, so we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do another release, especially with the end of the license looming. Why not take advantage of all these amazing sculpts that they've done, you know, in the past, and get some reissues there. Hopefully we'll get a Wonder Woman. I think I say that on every review I do, but we'll love a reissue of Wonder Woman as well. But there you go. There's your look at Killer Croc and the Grim Knight. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.